Some automotive naming conventions make absolutely zero sense, but since it first hit the showroom floors back in 1989, I'd say the Subaru Legacy was very aptly appointed.
This 6th generation update gives Subaru's stalwart sedan a bit of a facelift, and more importantly, lets me use our sweet mid-cycle refresh graphic. Subaru's 2.5-liter 4-cylinder boxer engine powers the Legacy as it did the previous generation. It's an adequate enough mill, but if power is what you're after, a 3.6-liter 6-cylinder is also available on the limited trim. Both options are mated to a continuously variable transmission, of which you probably know by now I'm not a fan. However, I will say this one isn't bad. Its discernible ratios are well spaced, which of course aren't real since there aren't actually gears on a CVT, but it doesn't have that infernal drone they usually create. Paddle shifters offer more natural-feeling shifts, should you choose them. Part of Subaru's legacy is its offering of all-wheel drive standard in most of its lineup. This uppercase Legacy continues that tradition for less than $30,000, and a retuned suspension on this refreshed version promises a smoother ride on those four wheels.
It actually delivers. I like the drive feel in this car. The power delivery and the ride quality are smooth, but they have a little bit of a sporty edge to them without feeling jarring. The electronic steering has been reworked too. The responsiveness is quick and it makes the Legacy more maneuverable. Overall, I really like the modifications that they made. I think it improves the drive quality, even if the engine isn't breaking any land speed records.
Responsible for the Legacy's sportier look is a lower and wider grille and an exhaust that's now integrated into the rear. This crimson red pearl paint option is new for this update too. The exterior mirrors and C-shaped LED headlights also help change the look of the car.
The interior of the car got an entirely new look. There are fewer buttons on the center console, and there's now an 8-inch screen, so it's a lot easier to see. Everything's really intuitively laid out, though I wish that the radio button were over here, more conveniently located to the driver. Otherwise, I think there's a really nice balance between physical buttons and touchscreen.
The Starlink infotainment system is easy to use and score points in the advancement column for now offering Apple CarPlay and Android Auto standard. Interior materials aren't top of the line, but they look more expensive than they are. The upper door panels are soft cloth, which is nice, but there's some hard plastic covering most other surfaces.
The seats are really comfortable and nice and supportive, and I have plenty of headroom. But personally, I sit a little lower in a seat. Anyone who sits a little bit higher up or is a bit taller than me, they might run into a problem. Room in the back seat might be a little bit more of a challenge. I mean, not for me personally, but for somebody who is regular sized, it might be a problem. And one of its biggest competitors, the Honda Accord, has 2.3 inches more room back here. Now, the middle seat is, it's not really a seat. I'd say it's more of a way to get from door to door. And while this armrest is nice and long, it does not make for a good seat back cushion.
As expected, given Subaru's safety history, crash test ratings on the Legacy are excellent. To help avoid accidents altogether, EyeSight Driver Assist is optional across all trims, except the base model, and includes safety features like blind spot detection with lane change assist, adaptive cruise control, forward collision, and, for the first time, rear automatic braking, which is exactly what it sounds like and will stop the car automatically in reverse if there's something in its way. Fuel economy for the higher volume 2.5-liter engine comes in at the low end of its fairly brutal competitive set, with 25 miles in the city and 34 highway. The Chevy Malibu, Nissan Altima, and perennial all-stars, the Honda Accord and Toyota Camry, all do better at the pump. But remember, those guys are front-wheel drive only models, so it's not for nothing. It's really not for nothing, as the starting price on the 2.5i base model is around $23,000 with destination charges. 3.6R Limited at the top end of the cash spectrum will cost just under $33,000, and that's before adding anything from the option sheet. We'd say the sweet spot here is the 2.5i Sport trim we're driving. Add the EyeSight package and it slides in just over $29,000, which sounds about right for this sedan. Since the late 80s, when Milli Vanilli was blaming everything on the rain, the Subaru Legacy has proved its staying power. Despite some hefty competition in a dwindling mid-size sedan category, the improvements made to this generation should help keep the Legacy relevant until the next major overhaul.
And luckily for Subaru, well, their loyalists, they love their Subarus. So much so, in fact, that they probably think every car Subaru makes should be considered a legacy.